You have to treat people nice. What do you need? Are you comfortable? You have to show them a smile, man. Mm-hmm. They could care less, or maybe they do care, but they don't need your problems, man. You could be having the worst day ever. They don't need to know that because they have their own demons they got to fight, you know? So I feel like you shake their hand. How you doing, man? You good? Having a good time? When you talk and you chat and you smile and you get at ease and you relax, because that same vibe is going to go through those microphones and into that person's car while they're driving. That same vibe.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
Welcome to another episode of Your Peak Life podcast. Today, we have a special guest, someone who I've followed throughout the years, who I've just appreciated his contribution to the Latino community in Hampton Roads. I consider him now a friend after, our last, I would say, 2 years of interaction. I've been on his radio station, DJ Mangu. Welcome.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Thank you guys for the invitation. It's an honor to be here. You guys got a great setup. This thing is looking super good. I'm really excited to be here, man. Really excited.
Work in progress, man. Hey, Mangu, well, tell us about yourself. Like, where you from? You're
born and raised in Dominican Republic. I was there for the beginning of my life, which was the best. I don't know. I think growing up in the island, you get a different experience, a different vibe. I ended up in New York, almost like every Dominican, right?
I ended up in Jersey.
Where you ended up in Jersey? Right there.
Patterson.
Right there. So I ended up in New York. I was there for another nice part of my life too. And then I went back to finish up high school in Dominican Republic. Finally, I came here and joined the military, man.
So you joined from DR?
As soon as I got here.
So you was in DR, you finished school.
95, I finished school. In 96, I joined the military. I came here, I went to Rhode Island, was there in Providence, Rhode Island, full of Dominicans and Latinos out there. And then joined. I thought I know for sure that's what I really wanted to do at that time. It was a step that I needed to take. I understand that now. It's a good experience.
What branch did you join?
I joined the Navy. Okay. By coincidence. I mean, it wasn't even supposed to. I came to join the Air Force.
Okay.
And the Air Force office was closed. Man, these guys are hungry out there. These right? The recruiters.
Yeah.
As soon as I was walking, I said, "Hey, where you going, man?" Oh, they're closed. I got you. Come on.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up in the Navy.
That's how
nice. That's an easy say. All right.
So with me, I was born in Jersey. I moved to Puerto Rico back and forth throughout my life, but I finished high school in Puerto Rico, and then I joined the Navy from Puerto Rico, and I came to Virginia, Norfolk, and I've been here ever since. So
it's a nice
that
place.
Was 97.
97.
I got here, Hampton Roads, 97.
So you being raised out there in the DR like all your life, you finally land in New York. Like, what's that like?
It was good. Lucky for me, like I was back and forth throughout my childhood,
okay.
So I had the experience. I could learn a little English, and it was a bit confusing sometimes because you would get adjusted to Dominican Republic for 3 years, and then you end up back in New York for another year. My mom was back and forth. She never really decided what she wanted to do.
Yeah, but being in New York and being Dominican is a super common thing. So I know that you didn't feel out of place.
Well, excuse my ignorance, but like when I think of DR, all I think is these jungle, like nice little houses, some little towns, and then you're now
it's a whole different vibe. Starting from the weather, the people, the language. Nowadays, it's totally different. If you go to New York and then you go to DR, you're gonna feel like you're in the same place. Everything's, we moved it up a notch, and the culture has, it's integrated a lot more.
When people say, "Hey, I went to Dominican Republic," and I say Punta Cana, they say yes. I was like, "Well, you haven't been to Dominican Republic."
Thank you for saying that, man. This is a public announcement.
Yeah, it's not the same. Just like when they say, "Hey, I went to Puerto Rico." Oh, where'd you went? I went to San Juan. I'm like, I mean, that's Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah,
it's in Puerto Rico, and yes, it's great landmarks, but it's not Puerto Rico.
It's not Puerto Rico. You got to see more. But I haven't been there. I'm going there soon, hopefully. But Dominican Republic is the same thing. And I tell people all the time. But I understand, though. I mean, I've been to Mexico, and I always go to the same place because you go to a resort, you go somewhere, you feel comfortable. You don't know anybody. I mean, you're a tourist.
Yeah, you want to feel safe and
Exactly.
what everybody knows. Yeah.
So I think the best way, if you're going to travel to a country, is try to find somebody that's from there that can guide you, has some family or goes with you, right? If I go to Puerto Rico, I'm going to go with Edwin because he's going to take me around to the places that he wants to
I tell all the time, my mother's still there. I tell people all the time, y'all want to go to Puerto Rico, let me know.
Okay.
You know, and I'll tell
I'm letting you know right now.
Yeah, well, let's go. Let's plan a trip. Let's plan a trip.
Let's do this.
Right here. Like, that's what I tell my wife. Like, I want to visit all these spots because now I'm on the East Coast. You know, me being Mexican, I was raised over there every summer. And like, to your point, it's like there's way better cities out there that you could visit, like a Durango. You know, that place is gorgeous with the cathedrals and all that stuff.
I end up in, what was the...
Mazatlan or Cancun.
Yeah, where everybody is.
Yeah.
Look at this. So I don't want to cut you off, but look at this right now. We have 3 Latinos from 3 different places in 3 different states, started off 3 different, ways of life. Mm-hmm. Yet we have come together throughout force of life. We're all 3 of us are striving in our fields.
Exactly.
We're leaders in the Latino community. I mean, that's dope.
And we're here in this room right now.
Right? In Hampton Roads.
Yeah.
Aquí mismito.
Yeah. I like that.
Well, now you're in New York. How do you end up in Hampton Roads?
After I joined the military, we already know. People get here because of the military or somebody that has somebody in the military. So I ended up here 2002, and I liked it, man. I liked it. 2002, I came here. 2003, I bought a home. And 2006, when it was time to get out after 10 years, I got out at 10. I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? I mean, I like it here. I'm comfortable. Got me a job, and I stayed, man.
So, because, I've been here, and I remember you for a long time.
Yeah.
So, did you start your DJ career while you were in?
So this is what happened. All right, I'm here. I'm meeting people. I'm getting to know people. And this guy tells me, hey, man, I think you're a funny guy, man. You cool, man. Y habla español, lo habla bien. Vamos a ponerte en la radio, just get you on the radio station. And I was like, okay, well, I've never done that. I know I like to entertain people, so that might help out. So about 2002, as soon as I got here, man, a couple months after, I started working at this AM station, going in part-time, and I fell in love, man. It's like when you do something for the first time and you feel that connection, it's like, man, I think I found my purpose. This is what I was born for. And you don't know that until you do it sometimes. You know what I mean? You might think, you might have some ideas of what you want to be when you grow up, but you don't know where you're going to be until you do it. So I did it, and I fell in love with it, and I thank that guy that gave me that opportunity, because after that, I'm always hungry, man. I know you guys are too, to be able to get here. But I'm always hungry, and I wanted more. And even though I was doing it part-time because I was in the military,
right?
When I got out in 2006, I went full-time, man. And I took a hell of a pay cut, man. You know how that is.
Yeah.
I took a hell of a pay cut, but I wanted to do it, man. I had dreams. I wanted to do it. I wanted to keep building on that. So I started being a DJ in the clubs, because that was the next step. I said, how can I make more out of this, out of just talking on the air? So I started exploring the whole nightclub DJ, also to make that extra income and to explore that venue too. And also started doing production. And after that, I went to school. 2014, I think it was. 2014, I was like, well, let me take this up a notch. And I went and got my bachelor's degree in audio science.
Nice. So that's, I'm hearing your story, right? And I'm placing myself back then. And for you telling me I only started DJing after the radio, is mind blowing to me.
Really?
Yeah, because I was a club person. You know, I was in every club.
Oh yeah, he was at every club.
I was.
Yeah, he was there.
You know what I mean? I was out there.
He's still in
And
his
when-
chief outfit.
Lola, Vertigo.
Yeah.
You remember Lola's?
So of course, right? I was going to Knickerbockers every Sunday, especially when it was a holiday Monday. But when you're saying it, when DJ, to give you perspective, because you wasn't here, when DJ Mangu had a night somewhere, that was where it was to be, right? So in my mind,
I was blessed.
I thought that he's been doing this like forever. Because he
my DJ career actually started, if I started in radio 2002, my DJ career actually started in 2006 maybe, 2006 maybe, 4 years later, because it's a whole different thing. You know, what people know as a DJ at the club,
Right.
it's not the same guy that could probably perform in front of a microphone at the radio station. It's a whole different vibe.
And those days also, like DJing, like before this social media era and everything video and digital, whatever, like you look for those DJs.
Yeah.
That was the thing, because my uncles are DJs back in the West, and like you look for those flyers and those names to pop up, and for the radio station to announce it, to go to those clubs. Because I came here briefly with the Navy. I was here in early 2000 for a little bit of training, and I left. But I got to, and the oceanfront was a different oceanfront, right? It was a little more hood or whatever. But I remember looking for the nightclubs, right? Like there was no Google.
Yeah.
Like you could just get on and start looking. Like you would have to wait for the radio to tell you.
That's the only way.
Or you will have to be in the know. So like, you know, in the Latino community, being here since 97, you're just into the know, right?
Yeah.
You like, people just know there's certain people that are in the area that, you know, you just follow. Wherever Mangu was playing, it was hot. I'm not saying that because you're here, but
Appreciate that.
it was just a thing. If you're if I would say if you're anywhere from 35 to 45, 50, like everybody, if you were,
I like how you kept going up on that age to like
get
your
35 and then we end up in 50.
There,
That's fine.
Yeah, that age.
Yeah, it's an age group that was there.
It is. That was the age group.
Yeah, and I still see people that tell me all the time, it's like, yo, I remember I used to go, I think I started at this play called Moonstar. And that was like my little school. And it was back in Newport News. It was a restaurant. It was terrible, man. It was terrible. 9 o'clock, they shut the food down. And it was Asian food, man. So you know that leaves this smell. And if you walk in, it smell like straight up egg rolls, man. And it's uncomfortable when you're at a club smelling like egg rolls. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it was that little school that I had to do, and I was lucky enough to be around people that, you know, you start punching around and say, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that?
That's what I was going to ask you next, because going straight to DJ, like, was the guys from the radio station the same person that taught you how to?
No.
DJ?
It was a guy that I was like, man, I can go DJ. I can do this, man. I can make some songs. Nah, I couldn't make some songs, man. It was hard.
Yeah,
it was extremely hard. But I had a background in production because I was already working production for the radio station. I had a background in music because I've always loved music and I play a couple of instruments. So all of that together with this guy, just push here, push there, listen here, do this. And then that hungry, man, because when you like something and you're passionate about it, you don't stop, man. I mean, you don't stop. I mean, he taught you something, but you go home and for the next week, that is all you do. And then YouTube came out and then you're looking at videos for hours because you want to learn. You want to learn something. It's a craft. And you got to be passionate. And I've tried to use that method in everything that I've done in life. And thank God it works for me.
I often tell people the key to success is monetizing your passion.
I like that.
I've been lucky. I found real estate really early in life in 2003. And I didn't necessarily know that was going to be the path, right? At the point of making my decision, it was like, I need to do something. I had 2 young kids. You know, I wasn't with their moms. I had to pay child support, or not child support, daycare. And, you know, daycare for 2 kids, man.
It's expensive.
And when you're an E4 in the Navy, like, not married, like, it's a lot of money, right?
It is.
So I just started looking for ways. I ended up buying a house. The realtor sucked. My chief had me do a whole bunch of research on buying homes. Ended up getting my license. And then later on in life, I realized that this was, as I learned more and as I got into it, I mean, now real estate's my life. I tell people, like, everything I do revolves around real estate.
But you had to
I love
spend
it.
time
Yeah.
doing the research. You had to spend time instead of me watching TV, la novela Univision. I was practicing because I liked it and I wanted to get better at it. And lucky for me, because once you build a craft, then you have to build a relationship with the audience, with the people that are at the club. That's the only reason why they're going to follow you, because anybody can play music, but you got to build that relationship. They got to like you.
You got to be likable.
They have to like you. And when they like you, man, you lock them in. You get them to jump.
Yeah, it's got
Put
to be
their hands
organic.
down, put them up. Single ladies, and you turn them up.
You're the second DJ. I just thought about it that we had Julian Rivera here.
He's a great guy.
Yo,
We haven't met in person, man, but
Really?
we've texted.
What?
Yeah, we've texted.
Man, I gotta get we gotta get together. That's my
Yeah.
That's I would say we have become very good friends. And it's crazy because one of my right-hand men that I grew up in Patterson with is his boy. So we've been around each other. Like, I would follow him when he played, whenever my boy was in town, or you know what I'm saying? Because they were like that. They were super tight. And throughout, after, like, I was a realtor for years before him. When he got into real estate, then, he started, he knocked it out the park. He got into real estate first year and just destroyed it ever since. And he's been killing it ever since. Since that point, we kind of just been connecting. And
I just saw him on a magazine or something.
Yeah, he was on the magazine for
Right?
the top producers. Actually, tomorrow, I know we're recording this right now, but tomorrow his episode comes out.
yeah,
That's
So I'll make sure to
nice.
get you that
so you
link.
got to make sure to get you the link. I mean, he's just
Okay.
he's just a dope person.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy.
He's driven, family, of course, Latino. I love that. You know what I mean? Not that it's always about that, but to me it is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I'm a Puerto Rican man. Like, it's super important for me to go against the stereotype, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. It does make sense. And I'm going to tell you what, when I got here over 20 years ago, I'd hear that a lot, man. I'd hear that a lot. Somebody would come on a radio station or you would go pitch, because I used to have to do sales a lot back then. And I would go pitch to a real estate company. I said, man, Latinos don't buy houses, man. Crazy. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a different market.
Yep.
But the population then was different than it is now.
It sure was.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, and then I guess maybe we didn't have social media back then, right?
We did not.
So I just take it in a perspective of my world, right? My world was the Spanish was, if I think about it, is like, Rincon is a staple. It used to
Yeah.
be Teresitas, right?
Yeah.
Knickerbockers is a staple.
Enrique and Chef been always
Enrican
there.
Chef
Yeah.
is a staple, But Mangu's a staple in the community, man.
I was able to
What was the
make a lot
shift?
of friends.
What was the shift?
Yeah.
What was the point or the club that skyrocketed?
Definitely Lola's.
Lola's.
Definitely Lola's, which was crazy, man. I was at Moonstar, I was doing this and that, I started learning, getting better, getting a lot better. And started building that confidence, man. You start building that confidence in that craft, and you get really comfortable. And once you have the technique down pat, then you can interact more with the people, because now you can grab the mic and talk to them and always have a smile, always be happy. Didn't matter what was going on at home. I had to be happy. I could be going through hell in the house. But when you got there, people came and offered you drinks. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I give them a hug. But that's what they came there for.
Yeah.
They came to have a good time. So Lola's,
And Lola's is a small spot.
it was super small.
But it had a second floor, like VIP
super
type
elegant,
area.
yeah.
Okay.
Super
Like,
elegant.
Like, it was like it was downtown Norfolk.
Yeah.
So it was the vibe, the modern,
Yeah.
industrial vibe.
By that time, I felt like we had a team already. And when you have a team, oh man, it makes it so much better.
Yeah.
Because everybody gives their opinion and they add to it. So everybody was like, yeah, this is a good spot. We should do it this day. And we started like that. And good promoters too. Good promoters. And next thing you know, man, I was definitely moving up a notch.
And for your audience, like on the radio side, like what's that look like? What does those metrics look like as people like tuning in as you're growing back in those days?
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, now
it's a good thing that we're here. I always said that, you know, Hampton Roads is a small area with a lot of people, and I think that if you do things right, the good thing and the bad thing is if you do things right, everybody will know about it sooner than if you were in New York or in Chicago and Miami.
Okay.
But if you do things bad, they'll also know sooner. So if you do things good and you have the right people around you, everybody will know and get around. So my name got out really fast. I feel like it got really fast because I was trying to do things right from the first time that I got on that microphone. And as the audience grew, the clubs grew, the listeners grew, and next thing you know, I was in a better spot, man. And it was like, okay, it's a good feeling. Like when you go to places, people say, "Hey, man, I hear you on the radio," or "I saw you at the club," and I felt so good about that, man, because that was one goal that I set. I had so many odd jobs. I was delivering pizza while I was in the Navy. I was delivering pizza, making ends meet, man. You know, you just said it. You were E4. You had to pay a whole bunch of stuff. So I was in E5, and hey, you got to do what you got to do. I was delivering pizza for Pizza Hut. Shout out to Pizza Hut. And I was doing some other stuff, man. I had 3 jobs at once, and when I finished that, I ended up in this company law called Loomis Fargo. You ever heard of Loomis, man? These are the people that go out with the armor trucks, pick up money at the bank.
Yeah.
Yes.
And before I got out of there, right before I quit, I was talking to the driver. I was in the back seat. And he said, hold on, so you're going to stop this job to go full-time radio? And I said, yeah. And how much they going to pay you, man? He was a cool guy. I said, man, not much. Definitely another pay cut. And he said, so why are you doing this? I said, look, I'm going to do this. But trust me, in 1 year, everybody in Hampton Roads that's Hispanic is going to know my name. He said, well, okay. That was many, many years ago. The other day I was at La Yaroa doing a performance that we were doing there. And I saw him. He came up to me. He said, man, I listen to you every day. And every day I remember that day you told me that. It's like, I don't know how you did it, but you did it, bro.
Hard work.
Oh, man. I get emotional when I talk about that. Because he's a good guy, man.
Yeah.
He's a really good guy. And now he looked older. I looked older. It's like many years went by. And here you are doing what you're doing. He's like, man, I heard you were coming here. I said, I got to come and see you. And it felt very good to see him, shake his hand.
Nice.
That's nice.
And I mean, the first time I met you, I'm new to the area, obviously with the military. I meet Edwin, you know, a year and a half goes by, and he's like, hey, man, you want to go on the radio? Spanish radio. Do you know how, you know, he knows I know Spanish. I was like, all right. I know nothing about you, right? He's like, it's Mangu, this radio station, be here at this time. All right, cool. I'm there, and it's an experience. I mean, forget the radio side. When you step in, handshakes, smiles, want some coffee, man, a little bit about yourself, you know, your presence is all positive vibes. Then I get home and I start looking more into you and everything. And I was like, oh, okay. And then obviously your office and everything you're doing there as far as production It's a lot. And then this last time we saw you, now you're building the video platform even bigger.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
we got a new office, thank God. It's everything that you said, I think regardless of the business that you do, you got to do it. You have to treat people nice. What do you need? Are you comfortable? You have to show them a smile, man. They could care less, or maybe they do care, but they don't need your problems, man. You could be having the worst day ever. They don't need to know that because they have their own demons they got to fight, you know? So I feel like you shake their hand. How you doing, man? You good? Having a good time? When you talk and you chat and you smile and you get at ease and you relax. Because that same vibe is going to go through those microphones and into that person's car while they're driving. That same vibe.
Yeah.
If we don't set that vibe before we open that microphone, if we don't talk, we don't chat, then it's not gonna feel the same. Trust me, it's not gonna feel the same. And I've seen people at the radio station working stressed out, and it's hard, man. It's hard because honestly, I tell them, hey, man, just take a break, go relax, have a shot, relax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or go home because nobody needs that, man. Seriously. I remember one day, it was a test for me. I was on air and somebody called me. And I answered the phone, obviously off the air. They're like, hey, this person passed away. He was a good friend of mine. I'm thinking, you couldn't wait till 7 o'clock when I got off the air to tell me this? I got 2 hours of show, man. And I just saw this guy yesterday. You know? But hey, I bet you nobody in the audience found out because I cannot show that. It's really hard sometimes. But you always got to be in a happy mood and a good, positive, even if you're not. And you know, you're not always in a positive mood.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just feeling down.
Yeah.
You're stressed. You got a lot of things on your mind.
Yeah, Edwin, he can't pass that test. You'll know. Edwin's throwing his arms down, his shoulders are back, he's fidgety.
That's where
He's letting it out.
Yeah, we need to get it on camera when he has his walk.
Yeah, he's letting it out.
He's like a little like a toddler. You know they're pissed.
Hey, you could instantly, when I come into the room, that's because I'm always high energy. Soon as if I'm off, you know, especially if you're around me a lot, you immediately know.
What's wrong?
But it's something
you know what I mean?
It's something that I'm conscious about and I'm trying to work towards.
It's really hard.
You know,
It's extremely hard. I had to learn. I had to do it. And that was a very good test for me. Unfortunately, he passed away, obviously, but it was a test. It was a really good test. And it happens all the time. And they call you from school, hey, man, your kid's over here acting up. Somebody got to pick him up. You're like, seriously?
Well, I got a question. We try to ask all our guests this. Obviously, there's goals and plans in place for you, but what does 5 years from now look like for you? Like your peak life. It doesn't necessarily have to be on a business aspect, just all around. What does that look like for you? Like that end goal, if there is any.
Business-wise, to be honest, I never thought that I would be where I'm at now as far as the business. Because when I was a DJ and on air, and I still am, I'm not a nightclub DJ, but I'm still on air. I mean, I thought that I had got to the max.
the peak.
The peak. I was at the peak of my life as far as professionally. You know what? And that's the reason why I went and got my degree. Because I needed to keep moving it up. And it was hard. When you got a family, you got a job, to get a degree, it's really hard. When I got it, so what's next? I'm out of goals. I'm out of goals right now, professionally. And that's when the opportunity came to become, to own the radio station. And that was a hell of a challenge. Because to me, I was a regular guy. I mean, I was a hustler, but a regular guy, never a business person or an entrepreneur. It was not. It was not. I didn't think I had that. I said, man, I know the business, but can I run the business? It's a whole different ball game.
Yep.
And we took the challenge. We struggle a lot, especially at the beginning. You know, financially, you got to get right. You have goals for the business, and you got to see how you're going to get it there. And I think we did a very good job. It's been 3 years since we owned the radio station, Dos Media as a company. And now looking forward, to be honest, as far as professionally, 5 years from now, I think that we've developed a great method right now, and it's working. And it's working really good. And I think we found something that a lot of radio stations have lost, which is being live and being local. Because I understand it's an expense to have a whole bunch of DJs that are from the area talking on a microphone. I mean, it's much easier for somebody to have a show that's being produced in Chicago, air in 10 different states. But you lose the interaction with the people. So if I'm able to maintain this strategy of work, my goal in 5 years is to be the number one communication medium in Hampton Roads when it comes to everything, video and audio.
Okay.
And hopefully be able to expand a little further. Like Richmond, something like that. Richmond's right there. It's not that far.
It's right up the street.
You know? And maybe a little further this way on the Eastern Shore. It can happen.
There's a lot of Latinos on the Eastern Shore.
Yes.
Listen, I go every time I'm going up there. When I go up north, take 13. I stop at that little taco truck right after. There's a little truck, bro.
Edwin lets me know every time.
No, where's it at? Where's it at?
It's right before Stuckey's.
Okay.
You know where Stuckey's is on 13?
I know where Stuckey's is.
Right before
I take
on
that
the
route.
left.
I just came from there.
Yeah, bro. Listen, it's a truck by itself. It's next to a grocery store, also Latino.
There's Hispanics out there.
Yeah.
There's Hispanics out there. There's
I
actually
swear I
some
could be in
stations
like
out there.
somewhere in West Virginia in the Appalachian Mountains, and Edwin will know where the nearest Latino food spot is.
Yo, he's good, huh? Now I'm gonna be looking out for that because I drive down that road all the time.
You've passed it a million times.
Wow.
It's yellow.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
Yep.
But as far as a person, you know, as a human being, I have my first grandkid. I want to have some more. I want to keep growing the family, and I got to figure out a way. And I don't know if you guys run into this, to work a little less, man.
Yeah.
While
We're still trying to figure it out.
while still making
Leverage,
money.
yeah.
You know, everybody wants to make money. I mean, I don't think money is a drive for me. I mean, obviously, you want money. You want to get better things. You want to be comfortable. You want to go on vacation. You know what I mean? You want to go to Puerto Rico, DR, and have a good time. But it's not my number one incentive. I've always wanted to get something done and create something from the bottom. And everything in life, I've done it like that. From DJ to being on air to owning a radio station. It's been, you know, from the bottom and building all the way up. So that already is a satisfaction. Family is the same thing, you know. I have 3 kids. I have a grandkid. I want to see them grow. I want to go to the weddings. I want to go to, you know, I want to have some more grandkids. I'm a really big on family, man. Really big on family.
Your son was a hell of a baseball player, right?
Yeah, he played baseball. Then he got into music. He's still doing music, you know. He's a hell of an artist, man. He's got great talent. Yeah, man. He was out there with he was in LA for like 3 years with Capitol Records. You know, he was doing good. He was doing really good. He still is, man. He's matured a lot.
Awesome.
He went out there really young, man. He was like 18 years old when he went out there.
Nice.
They took him from me. I lost a good 3 years with him.
But he's living his life.
But he's doing good, man. He's
Awesome.
back over here in the area. He's doing good. He's got a job. He's working hard. He's maturing a lot. Really proud of him, man. I like all my kids, man. They're all good.
You don't see any of them taking the road of, you know, replacing you and being.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
where you work
my
less.
youngest was talking about doing marketing. She's so bright, man. I said, man, you can do anything you want. She's so bright. She's talking about doing marketing, which is not necessarily radio, but it go hand in hand. You know what I mean? It's in that field. So I said, look, man, I'll do what I can to help you. Get you some courses or something. I want to see if you're really gonna like it. You know, she's only 17. Do you really know what you want to be at 17? It's hard. Yeah,
I agree. I agree. Stay on it. Be consistent. Because like my wife, she'll see the kids doing anything, like anything. They'll just pick up a guitar and let me go get a real one for them. They'll press the keys on the electric piano. Like, now we have a grand piano in the house. I'm like,
I always think
wait to see if they actually like this.
Maybe she should wait a little bit. Okay,
100%.
I'm not saying jump so fast, but I always say that kids at a young age, they start showing what they want to do. Because I remember as a young kid, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, the whole time I was recording people. That was my thing. I was entertaining people. I was recording people. I was working with music. It was always around being creative. I would come up with shows in high school, man. Every time a teacher left, for whatever reason, we had a spare hour, I was the one in front and center, entertaining people. Okay. Always. I'm talking about my whole high school. I was the go-to guy to have fun. So I guess at a young age, you start showing what you really want to do, man. It could happen. Maybe you get deviated in life because radio career, it's really hard, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how the real estate is when you start.
It's hard.
It's tough.
Extremely hard.
Because you got to make ends meet. I mean, you know that you like something, and a lot of people work in radio more out of passion. Everybody starts out of passion. That minimum wage is minimum wage.
Yeah, and to even get, forget the radio, it's like even get gigs outside of radio just to be a DJ is
exactly.
Not
even
a
if
lot
you
of
are
money in
good.
the beginning.
Even if you are good. You know what I mean? I remember DJing for a bottle or $50 when they paid you. You know what I mean? But hey, it was so fun and you enjoyed it. But radio is one of those careers that people don't come out of high school and say, I'm going right into radio. I mean, unless you have somebody to support you. Training, it's like 5 years before you get a dime. You know what I mean? So it's a really, really hard career. It's really hard. But it's doable because some people have done it. I did it. And it's doable. To be honest, I think anything in life, if you want to be a realtor, you can do it. I mean, you got to have certain traits, right? You got to be charismatic. You got to be a nice person. You got to get along, I'm guessing, right?
You have all different types. So I put it in perspective. There's so many different types of people, right?
Yeah.
All those people need representatives.
True.
Right? You have to relate to your client. So there's all different walks of people in life. One thing I would say is, in any successful career, you need the work ethic, right? And the ability or the passion to want to learn.
Yes.
So if you have the work ethic and the passion to want to learn, then yeah, you can be successful. The problem with real estate is you start off, right? Everyone starts off, I'm going to crush it. And then they do a couple of deals, right? And then they get paid. And they never continue what they were doing to get those couple of deals. So the money is just constant, up and down and flow. And you don't establish yourself. And if you're down for long enough, you quit.
You quit.
Right? If you're down for
anything that you do and you don't see results, you will quit.
But in real estate, the results come later. That's the difference, like in most careers. There's no immediate gratification or immediate end result. You're working with a client. Sometimes that client could be a year. Sometimes it could be a couple of years.
Yeah. For us to get business, it doesn't take a lot of money actually to get business. It doesn't. You could do it for free and get business. What's that saying? You don't need more tools. You need to do more with the tools you have.
Okay.
Networking, Facebook, like that stuff is free just to get out there and knock
Exactly.
on doors and talk to people. But people don't want to do that. That's what gets you really going.
Why? Because it's much work. It's more
It
work.
takes effort. It takes time.
Nobody's going to answer the door. I'm knocking at your door. You ain't answering the door for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this big.
Yeah, there's like scary Mexican dudes at my door. Now I'm on the neighborhood Facebook page.
I think you're gonna sell me some Avon or something.
Look at this guy.
Some pots.
knocking on doors, and after 100 doors, my stats were 20 people were going to open the door. Maybe 3 will have a conversation. 1, I'll get them to the lender, and their credit sucks. Next, they got to do it again.
Yeah.
But that was free.
I see what you're saying.
It took me time. But you close one deal, it was well worth it. But those checks come months later.
See, I think the same thing happens in radio when it comes to that. You don't see any results or benefits right away. It's impossible. And I get that a lot, man, because now I have to hire people. So, people be like, hey, man, I want to be in radio. And their expectations are totally different than what it is. It's the best job ever. I'm going to tell you that. It's the best job. You get to just get on a microphone and talk and have a good time and get paid for that. But it's a struggle to be able to get to that level. So the whole process, as soon as I sit down with somebody, depending on what they're asking me or what the conversation goes like, I can already tell it's not going to work.
I think it's the same for us too, right? I think, most people from the outside perspective, they believe that realtors or real estate agents do something completely that we don't do. Like, that's not our job.
Okay.
It's really not flashy. It isn't. Like, people think of it, right? You see people, I'm a realtor, I'm dressed up, I'm in a suit.
And it sounds fancy too.
Right?
I'm a realtor.
Shows, yeah.
I'm a realtor.
Yeah.
Right?
People demeanor change like, wow, he's a realtor. He got money.
Yeah, he got
money.
But that's not, that's far from the truth. And what it takes is just the consecutive, the repetition, the schedule, the discipline.
I see what you're saying.
Every day. I tell my daughter's 21 and she helps me with all my deals. And, I tell her, this is an everyday thing. Where you at? Every day, 7 days a week. Every day. What's Sunday? I'll text her. What are you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, that's what you have to do in order to kickstart your business. I'm at a point, I've been doing this 20 years. I get referrals on a constant basis, but that don't have anything to do with my daughter. You know what I mean? Like, she has to build, and that's what another thing is, you have to build your own business, your own pipeline. No one's going to give you a career. It's not real.
Doesn't happen.
No. You have to put in the work. People will give you opportunities, sure, if you show the effort. But no one's going to, imagine, I have leads, right? Am I going to give it to somebody who doesn't come into the office or someone who's in the office every day? I'm going to give it to the person in the office every day because I'm probably going to get more of a return on my investment. That person that's not in the office, that's never, showing houses, that's not active, or maybe they are, but nobody knows, right? Like,
yeah.
That's a perception. If no one knows, I tell people all the time, you can't be a secret agent. Not as a realtor or real estate agent. It's no secret agent, right?
They got to see you.
Correct.
You got to be a cop.
Yeah. You got to be out there.
A patrolling cop.
Yeah. People want to work with successful people.
Yeah.
Right? Do you want to use a realtor that never sold a house, or do you want somebody that's obviously representing clients and constantly doing business?
Correct.
So, and the recipe's out there. One thing we always preach at this company is that the secret is there are no secrets. We don't have secrets. I'll tell you everything that I do every day. Now, will you do it?
That is the question.
That drive. You can't.
That is the best word. Drive, man. That is the one thing everybody needs. And I get a lot of young people. I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to do that. One thing is wanting. Are you willing to put the work in? They'll come in. I want to learn how to do production for radio. Cool. Yeah. Just come and sit in a couple of sessions when I'm recording and we'll get it done, because I'm really, really meticulous about that stuff, man, about my job when it comes to doing production and stuff, because I went to school. So I'm really picky about things. And I'm in there showing you something and they'll sit down for an hour or two. And then next time they come, they didn't practice. They didn't do research. If you really wanted to learn, you would have got home, and instead of watching Netflix, you would have been watching a couple tutorials on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube Academy. That's how all this got put together.
Right? If you really wanted to learn, But sometimes people don't want to put the effort. They don't have the drive.
People would like stuff handed to them.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Right? If you ain't got to work for it.
Yeah.
But those are the people, you know, and there are some people that who are, you know, just happen to be lucked out, right? They happen to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
But those are the people that lose it fast, right? You have to build a strong foundation in anything in life in order for it to actually see the full potential. So put it in that groundwork, obviously, like you did, you know, put it in that groundwork from the beginning is what led you to where you're at today. And it's not over, right?
It's not over.
Right? If you
I feel really good, man.
yeah,
I feel really good where we at right now. I'm working harder right now. And I thought I was going to have less hours. That's one thing I had to change with me, man. Work hours, that doesn't exist anymore when you have the business.
Yeah.
Now it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, but who else is going to do it?
You're vested. It's your company.
It's
Yes.
your company.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm happy, though. I'm happy.
No, exactly.
I love what I do. And I feel like I can still give a lot more. And there's so much room to grow, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you got any questions for us?
Man, I feel like I talked to you guys a lot when we were at the radio station. And by the way, let me tell you, man, you guys are doing very well.
Thank you.
You guys are doing very well. It's one of my favorite shows. You guys are very. I see like the team. You guys are passionate about the team. Always have a different personality out there. Everybody has their own, and then talk about each other well. And I like that, man. I really like that. And I'm proud that you guys are Hispanic, kicking butt out here too.
Appreciate it. Thanks, bro. Thanks, man.
No, well, we're growing. Well, please tell everybody where they could find you too. I mean, you always let us shout out
check me out
Instagram.
on Instagram, Mangu La Selecta Radio. I got rid of Facebook, man. I just couldn't. I couldn't
tried
do
to
it, man.
find
It's
you.
too much, man.
I know. I tried to find you this morning.
God, it's too much, man. Because I'm running like 3 Instagrams, you know, for the station, for the
station.
company.
Oh, man.
It's too
I'm
much,
doing
man.
that now.
It's too much. You know what? That's going to be the next position that I hire somebody for.
Social media.
Running a whole bunch of accounts. Yeah, let them do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you find me on Instagram, Angula Selecta Radio. And also, you know, if you're in the area, you can tune in 103.3, La Selecta Radio, 103.3. And we also have an app for Android and iPhones, La Selecta Radio, just like that. And also on YouTube, that's freaking growing, bro.
Yeah.
That's
Dos Media. Yes, Dos Media, just like that on
I
YouTube.
see it on your jacket. Yep.
Yeah, it's growing super fast. Super fast. Thank God. And we try to keep the content local, always local. So that's our goal, seriously. Always in Spanish and always local.
Except when I'm there, right? Mine's in Spanglish.
It's Spanglish. But it sounds good. His Spanglish sounds good. Don't you think it sounds really
Hell
good?
no, his shit is horrible.
No, I think it sounds good.
It's
It
not where
builds
we're
character
from.
and it's
No,
and
you
it's
know what
him.
it is? It's the different Spanish. I was like, yo, Puerto Ricans are just making up words.
Nah,
now.
man.
Nah, it's where we're from.
Like
It's-
eggs, huevos, and you guys call it something completely different.
Nah, he's got that Jersey Spanish. Yeah.
I
It sounds really
I look
good,
at him,
man.
I was like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
he's got
is
that
not
Jersey.
Spanish.
That Jersey Spanish is good. But as soon as he talks, as soon as he speaks, you know it's him.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's not gonna sound like anybody else.
Oh, yeah. Edwin's Edwin.
I don't know how to be anybody else.
You're doing good at it.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, Mangu, thank you for coming to the
It's
podcast.
my pleasure, man. It's my pleasure.
I love your personality. I love the radio station, everything you're doing and getting us out there. Yeah, I mean, that's really what you're doing. Now, you're not
Yeah.
only getting yourself out there, but you're getting everybody out there. But everybody tune in, hit that like and follow on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. Your Peak Life. Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure, guys.